everybody, it's Doug here, Doug Mr. Guy, Board Game Geek, bringing you our next episode of Escape the Dark Castle. In the first episode, I unboxed the deluxe Kickstarter edition that I got, and in this one I'm going to set up to play. We're going to take some turns. Now, this is a pretty simple game, and it's pretty straightforward, so I hope you enjoy it. We're going to get right into it, and you saw the unboxing, so you know what kind of materials there are. We're going to play basically with all just the base game cards this episode. Maybe 2 episodes. I don't think it'll take much longer than that to complete the game, but we're going to pick some characters, and the characters, I don't remember which ones from which set, so we're going to pick from all of them, and just see what we get. We're going to pick 2. In a solo game, you pick 2, and so next up, I want to thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Been trying to crank out some fun material over the holidays to keep you guys occupied with game videos. So we're getting to that. And in this one, we're just going to simply get busy and play the game. You know, I just did the Tears of a Goddess, where I lost profusely very quickly in a graphic novel adventure. I'm going to do that again. Just wanted to mix it up and do some things in between. I got to finish editing some of the ones that we had for Maximum Apocalypse as well. And we'll get to that, back to that again soon when the expansion stuff arrives for that. All right, well, let's get busy and get right to it. The first thing that we're going to do is set up our castle deck. These are all the different characters. I want to move them aside for the moment, because what happens in the castle deck is we're going to pick 15 cards from this big old thing of cards right here. And we also need to pick a big bad guy for the end of the game. Not pick one, but randomly select one. And we also have a couple of different entrance scenarios for entering the castle that we're going to start with, because those came in the Kickstarter edition. They weren't necessarily from one of the expansions, so I'm going to leave them in. Basically, we're going to first shuffle this deck up. We're going to get ourselves a boss. We're not going to look at it. All the rest are just going back in the box, guys. So we'll deal with that. Let's see. Here we go. We'll just, I don't know, I'm not shuffling these that good because they're big cards, big unwieldy cards. But let's, well, not this one. Let's do another couple of shuffles there, make sure we're randomizing as much. We'll just take this one out. There we go. Boom. That is going to be at the bottom of the deck, because that is going to be our boss. And then we're going to pick 15 cards out of here. Now, I did shuffle the heck out of this, and I'm just going to do a couple more shuffles. And again, they're just black backs, but they got a lot of artwork on the other side. So we're going to go 1. I'll just take 2. Remember, we need 15, 3. I'll just cut them into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And there goes our deck. This is our castle right here. We'll have to see what comes out. And so how this works is we're going to take the castle, and then we're going to put all of it on top of the boss deck, and that's just going to form our escape the castle deck we need to escape. Then we're going to just do these little bad boys right here. And we'll pick one. I'll just pick the middle one there, and that's going to go on top. And I don't know how much that's going to play into the game. Anyway, we also then have the item deck, which is going to go next. And I'm not playing with any of the advanced stuff that came in the expansions. It's just going to be a base game playthrough. Except, again, there are some cards that snuck their way in here from other things. But that's all there is that's going to sneak in there. Just some extra items, some other room decks that came in the Kickstarter that I mixed in that I can't tell the difference from. I have all the expansions separated, and I think there's an identifier on the card to show you it's an expansion card. Anyway, there's the item deck. I already had shuffled it, but we're going to reshuffled it again, and there we go. Okay, now we got to pick some characters. And now this one, I could say we could randomize it, maybe draw 4 and keep 2. We can do that. Let's shuffle them up. We'll draw 4 and see if we can keep 2. I know that we need someone that can fight, someone that's kind of more wise or cunning. And we'll talk about stats and everything as we go. We got the Fletcher. She looks okay. We got the Mason. He's pretty tough. He's like a fighter. The Smith, another fighter type. We don't want him. Well, he's good. He's got a good mix, actually. And the Hunter. Okay, so here's what we got for characters that we can choose from. I think our best bet, because we have one that, you know, these guys are both really bad at wisdom, as you can see. So if we were to pick two characters, I think while he is good at wisdom, he's going to be out because we want to take him for strength. That's a big, big strength bonus. He's really weak there. And maybe we take the Fletcher, who's okay at these two things and okay at, I think that's, I don't remember the exact, it's wisdom, cunning, I believe is what it is. Let me get the base rules here and see, I believe it's cunning. And we'll use those two, the Mason and the Fletcher. Might, cunning, and wisdom. Yeah, so might is the fist, cunning is the eyeball, and wisdom is the asterisk. Don't ask me why wisdom is an asterisk. That's come up before, but that's what it is. I think we'll go with those two. So the Mason and the Fletcher are going to go into play here. Now, what do we have to do from there? Well, we got to get a bunch of dice out, and what we're looking for primarily outside there's a big bag of dice that you get here. We're going to pull a bunch out. I'm looking for the Mason out of these white dice. I need the Mason and the Fletcher. We'll put the golden axe die aside, but we're going to, then this one, I don't even know what that is. That's a crazy die. Okay, let's see. Mason, Fletcher, those are, yeah, keep all these out. There's the Mason, nice. And Bishop, oh, those were some companion dice, I think. But there's the Fletcher, good. We don't have to go through any more of those. We can just put the rest aside so we have their action die. And then we're going to take out the regular dice for the game board, which are these right here. Yep. And those are the ones that are going to be in play. Let's see, I got to get some more out here. We're going to have a bunch of them. So we're going to need a whole bunch of these, so we'll just put them out and see how many we need. Well, we only have 2 players, so we're not going to need that many, but we'll just keep them out anyway. There's some extra dice and stuff and tokens and things to keep track of in the bag that I didn't even see before, so we're in good shape. We got all kinds of cool stuff coming out. Just building up this dice pool right here. We're going to put all the other dice back in the bag at some point. I'm just getting these ones out and getting the tokens out that we need. There's also a big metal first player token, but yeah, so there's all the chapter dice right there, and then all the rest of them are the dice for the characters and stuff, things that we encounter in the game. Okay, now what do we need to do next? Now, in the original game, you get a nice sheet of stuff to keep track of your hit points, but we're not going to use that. That's just silly talk. We got something special for that, right? So we're going to use these. We're going to use these boards here that go from 18 to 1. And I think in a 2-player game, I'll have to look and see how many hit points we have. But we're going to use those instead. That would make a lot more sense, right? And let me look in the book and just see for a 2-player game how many hit points each player starts with. It does change, I believe. And let's see. 1 to 2 players can be 18 hit points. So that's good. We're maxed out, baby. And then what we're going to do is we got these big skulls. See, they're nice, really heavy metal black skulls. They're going to go right there on the 18 spaces for each of the characters. Boop. And there we go. And then these are really cool looking. I don't know how well you can see them. I think you can see them pretty well, right? Yeah. Those go right there. So, and then we have this. This is the who's drawing the next card token, because that's important. So we're going to put that right there for now. We don't know who that's going to be yet. Those will end up going back into the box at some point. But we are basically, that's it, guys. That's the setup. That's it. Easy enough, right? Characters, cards, everything's all set up. We're about to escape the castle. So what has happened is apparently we're prisoners, but we're going to find out our story in detail as we turn over our very first card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some space up here. Let's see. So guys, you know, actually we're ready to play. I think we just dive in and get right into it and see where the Dark Castle is going to take us. Again, now we were prisoners, and I think so. The first thing we have to do is we have to decide who's going to be the one to draw the card. The first card, I think we'll just go with the Mason. He's kind of a tough guy, so what we're going to do is take this, and if you're playing multiple players, you'd pass it around, but it can be very important. 2 of the major decisions you actually have in the game are who's actually drawing the next card, or otherwise stepping into the castle section, and who is going to rest during a combat turn. Those are really the 2 big concerns you might have. So right now we're going to pick the Mason. He's going to be the one. We're going to call him George the Mason, and we're going to have Margaret the Fletcher. How's that? And we're going to step into the dungeon and see what happens. So let's draw our first card. I think when I put him out, I'll just put him right between them, closer to the one that's drawing the cards. So this is going to be our castle card. This is going to introduce us to what's about to happen to us. And I'm just going to do gameplay as we go along, so you can see it's pretty story-driven, and there is a lot of dice rolling in that, but you'll get to see how this plays and how their personal dice work out if you haven't seen that already in other videos. Okay, here we are. You can see we're in some kind of storeroom. It says, having finally escaped your wretched cell, and in your haste to seek out the exit of this abominable place, your very first step of exploration leads you down an errant path, a dead end. Uh-oh. Shuffle one additional chapter card into the castle deck now. Okay, so we have to take one of the cards from our remaining deck, and we're going to shuffle it into the chapter cards. So we'll just take those and take the boss out real quick and just shuffle it in. I don't know where it's going to be. We'll just shuffle them around. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. So our first place took us into a dead end. That's no bueno. Okay. All is not lost, however. This particular dead end appears to serve as some manner of storeroom. You quickly take as much as you can carry. Draw 2 item cards per player now. Wow, we're going to start with 2 item cards. Strange, distant sounds begin to fill the air, and you sense your absence has now been noticed by your captors. They are coming for you. Turn the first chapter card now. Okay, well, we're going to put that aside. We're going to get the item deck. I'm just going to give it a quick cut, and we're going to draw 2 cards per player. So this will be, we'll draw 1 for the Mason. Oh, he gets a rotten shield. So we found a rotten shield down there. You can see that it says whenever you would lose hit points, reduce the amount by 1 down to a minimum of 1. So it doesn't completely keep us from losing hit points, but if we're taking a lot of damage, we can reduce the amount we're taking. That's really good. This one will be for the Fletcher. She gets an elixir of insight. It says discard before any round of combat to change any chapter die to show a trait of your choice. We'll show you what that looks like as we play, so we'll put that, I think we'll just put these on the other side of them. Now the second card for the Mason is going to be a partially rotten apple. Discard to restore 1 hit point to your character. So the Mason's all about hit points. And the Fletcher, what does the Fletcher get? Another potion, so she's all about potions. Effervescent evasion potion. Whenever you would lose a hit point, discard or lose hit points, discard this item to lose none. Wow, so we can completely avoid taking any damage once. Now, characters can only get 2 items. So right now, until they use these items, this is all our characters are going to have. Now we're going to continue on. We're going to draw the first of our chapter cards. This is actually the first of the 15 cards, now 16 cards that we have to deal with. And we'll just leave it with the Mason for now. So we're going to draw this and see what comes of it. Oh, that looks like a fantastic start, doesn't it? Some centipede creature with a bunch of arms. A creature stitched together using butchered animal parts scuttles towards you. It's so hideous that you instinctively lash out. Begin combat, but you get to make 1 attack before the first round, taking no damage. Combat special. The first time this creature is defeated, before drawing an item card, roll a chapter dice. If the result is might, it regenerates. You must restart the combat and defeat it a second time. That is really bad. Now, what does this mean? So the first thing that this means is one of our chapter dice is going to come out like that, and then that symbol means there's going to be 2 more, 1 for each player. So we're going to roll those, and this is, oh, so what we have, man, this is not a good way to go, because wisdom is not our thing. We do have a good insight, or good cunning, though. So this is what we have to do to defeat this guy right here. Okay, now it does say that we get to begin the combat. Now we know we can't, it's not likely for us to kill this guy in a first combat because of what we have to get. Possible, but not likely. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get to roll our dice. So we'll roll for the Mason. Here's his roll. Of course, he got a fist, which doesn't do any good. And for the Fletcher, she got 1. I'm going to have to be very careful to knock things all over the place. She got 1 wisdom. So in the very first round of combat, and we're not going to take damage because we lashed out when we saw this hideous creature, right? We get to get rid of this die. So now we have to do is roll these 2. The problem with that is that neither of us are very good at it. The Fletcher does have a wisdom of 2. That means there's 2 wisdom symbols like this on this die. You can see here there's one there and one there and a double with a shield. Now, good news is if you get a shield, you don't take damage. But let's go into our second round of combat. We're both healthy, so we're both going to stick with it and see if we can kill this thing. Okay, here we go. The Fletcher rolls 2 of that, but he rolled a shield, so he's not going to take the 1 point of damage, and that's what you see right there is how much damage it's going to do back to us. So he doesn't hurt it at all, but he also blocks the attack, and then she blocks the attack as well, but also does not hurt it. So this is not a great start. That is a round of combat done. Now, I could use her potion to flip one of these before any combat round, but I don't want to because we're early on it. I don't want to waste it yet. So let's go back to the Mason and roll his die and see what we get for the next round of combat. Again, double fists, but in a shield, and this is going to be a problem for him. He's going to have a real hard time getting this. He's only got 1 symbol on his die. And she just rolled a fist. Now, what does that mean? That means that she did not block it. She also did not help it. So she is going to take 1 point of damage, taking her down to 17, and we're going to keep going. So let's go with the Mason, roll his die again. We're rolling the same thing over and over again, which is not doing anything. And hers, wow, guys, we're rolling a lot of the same things. She goes down to 16. We're going to do it again. We got to fight this guy. We might lose right off the bat. Wouldn't that be terrible? Well, there we go. He, if we don't kill it, he will take a damage, but he is going to stop one of those. Let's see what she rolls. And look at that. We got it. Now, because we killed it, we're not going to take a damage. Okay, so we defeated the creature. However, remember he's got a special, so I'm going to put their dice back for the moment and look at the special that this one's got. It says we have to roll a chapter die. If we roll a might symbol, that's a fist, then it is going to regenerate, and we are at 16, right? Yeah, we are. And we did not roll a fist, so it did not regenerate. What does that mean? Well, it means we defeated this weird creature in the hallway. We're going to discard that card, and we're going to draw 1 item card, just 1. Now this may make us want to get rid of something we have. Let's see. Another effervescent evasion. I like that. I think, yeah, let's have him. He's going to dump the apple for that. This is way more powerful than a rotten apple. Way more powerful. So we'll do that. Those are the 2 items he's keeping then. Okay, and that is the very first round. Now, the Fletcher, Margaret, she's got a little hurt in that one, so we're not going to have her draw the card. We're going to let the Mason continue to lead the way. He's healthier, he's in good shape, and we'll continue to use him at this point. He's got the shield and a potion to stop hit point damage. He's in a good place. So we're going to delve deeper, further into the castle in our attempt to escape. There's our card, and what do we have here? Another monster. We're getting monsters like crazy. A monstrous winged creature swoops just as we defeat this weird centipede creature. Someone else attacks us as we try and trudge through these underground passages of the castle. A monstrous winged creature swoops at you from the darkness above. Its hunting cry is deafening. You must try to roll cunning or a double in 1 attempt. Success, you react quickly and dive aside. Begin combat. Failure, its claws slash your shoulder. You lose 2 hit points and begin combat. Has a combat special. After a player has taken damage from this creature, they can no longer block it. Oh my gosh, that is so. If we don't roll our worst stats, this is gonna be a short game. Okay, so let's roll. We have to roll a cunning now. He's only got 1. Let's see if he can pull it off. He did not. So it says if you try to roll okay, but he did roll doubles in 1 attempt, so he did succeed because it says cunning or doubles. We rolled our double. Now let's roll hers. She's got a better chance of getting a cunning because that's what she does, and she did. So we both succeeded at this first part. We reacted quickly, so we're just going to begin combat now. Now this still takes effect. If we have taken damage, we can no longer block it, so we got to try and kill this thing quickly. Now what do we know about it? It's got, so far, it has a cunning, it has a wisdom die that we have to overcome, and then 2 chapter dice. Let's see what we get. And of course no strength at all, right? Which is what we really need because our Fletcher is a strength-based character. Okay, well that's c'est la vie, that's what it is. This is going to be another hard one to defeat. I think though that we're going to make this a little easier on ourselves. And we're going to take she's going to use the Elixir of Insight to discard before any combat to change any chapter die. And we're going to take one of these wisdoms and we're going to turn it into a strength or whatever that is. strength one. So might. So now we have a little easier for us to get to it. So let's roll with our mason. Let's see. And of course he rolled 2 might and blocked with a shield. So we're going to get rid of that. But that's not going to get rid of any of these, even though you rolled doubles. And then the Fletcher got one of the cunning, but is going to take the damage. I mean, she won't be able to block it. But she does have, maybe what we do, it says, after players taken damage. Okay, so let's do this. We know that we're going to get rid of this, and we know that we're going to get rid of this. He didn't take any damage from the hit, and I think she's going to use her potion to block the 2 points. Because once she does, she can no longer block, or once she takes damage from it. So she's going to burn her potion, and does not take damage from this guy. He's only got 2 dice left. Maybe we can get him quickly. Let's see. This is the Mason's dice. We're going to go into another round of combat. Okay, let's roll. I think she's going to rest, actually, his turn. She's going to rest. It means he's the only one that's going to roll a die. Let's see what he gets. He gets a might and doesn't block it. So when someone rests, they gain a hit point back, so she's back up to 17. The reason I did that is because I just wanted to see if he could do something before we get hit. No, so he fails. He would take 2, but remember, he has his Rotten Shield. Whenever you would lose hit points, reduce the amount by 1. Now the problem is that he can no longer block. The Rotten Shield still takes place, but he cannot block the damage, meaning that if he rolls doubles, he still takes the hit. However, he only takes 1 hit from him. So he's at 17, and we didn't do anything there. Okay, now let's go to another round of combat. I think we're both going to be in it. Good, he did block that. If we can get her best stat, which is cunning, then we can kill this thing without taking any further damage. We did not. She rolled that. So we didn't kill it, so we do get rid of 1 more die. We only have 1 more die to take care of, but we're both going to take damage. Can't really stop that from happening. The Fletcher is going to take 1 more point, going back down to 16, and the Mason now going to be at 15. Now maybe we can kill this thing finally. It's Fletcher's die and the Mason's die. Okay, let's roll for the Mason. Mason's going to sit out and rest. He can't really, his chances of killing this are not very good. Hers are much better. So he's going to sit out and rest, and that'll give him a hit point back. And she succeeded, which means she will not take damage. He rested. He goes up to 16. This die goes away. We defeated it. It goes back into the pile, and we're going to get an item card. So there we go. What do we get? Stale loaf of bread. Well, she's going to take that. It's going to restore her 2 hit points. She's not going to use it now. She'll just hold on to it for the moment, and we're done. Now, the Fletcher's actually doing a little better than Mason, but the Mason still has a Rotten Shield, and that's why I kind of let him go in first. He's also got this evasion card. So even though he's 1 hit point left, I think he's going to keep the token, and he's going to take us to the next place in the castle. So let's see if it's not another monster this time. No, it is. Okay, I've seen this guy in videos already. A thick-set man walks boldly towards you and adopts a pugilist stance. His speech is primitive, but you deduce he is calling out your mightiest fighter for a test of strength. Begin combat. Okay, so a pugilist is a boxer, if you didn't know. He's an old-time, like, old fisticuff boxer, you know. Anyway, combat special. Before each round of combat, nominate 1 player to fight the strongman. Only that player rolls, and only that player takes damage. You must fight the first round. This character must fight the first round. Players may not rest. Okay, so we know we have a lot of things we got to do. So first off, we know we got this and this right now. We also have a cunning, and then we're going to roll 2 dice. This guy's pretty tough. Roll 2 dice for his chapter dice, and we get a wisdom and a cunning. I can't seem to roll fists on these when I need to roll them. But that's good, because these 4 are strengths. So we know the Mason's going to have to take him first. So he goes into the battle. He's ready. He's ready. He can take this guy, this clown. Let's see what he gets. A double fist. Look at that. Boom. And he takes no damage because he blocked it. So, skadoosh. Done. And that goes back to him. So that was a very successful first round of combat against the Pugilist. Now, I think the Fletcher's going to step in because he's getting all cagey. He's using his cunning and his wisdom to try and fight now. After taking a pummeling, he realizes the Mason's really strong, so he's going to become a cagey fighter. However, the Fletcher is a more cagey, wily fighter herself, so she's going to step in and see what she can do here. Wow, so she did block the damage, and she also got rid of 1 of his cunning dice. Okay, and I think she'll take the next round. She is going to get hit, though. So she does that, and she takes a point of damage. She's now down to 15, but we only have one more to go. It's her best stat. She's going to go for it again. We fail. Take a 14. We're down to 14 now. You can see how badly this can all go. We're going to go again, and she succeeds and would have blocked the damage, but she didn't need it. So we defeated a pugilist. He's going to go into the pile. Why he's hanging around down in the dungeons, we don't know. We're going to get to draw an item card. What do we get? Elixir of Insight. Discard before any round of combat. Sorry, let's get her die back. Before any round of combat to change any chapter die to a trait you want to show. Okay, we can do that. We have had that before. A lot of these one-time potions in here, right? Well, I think we'll continue with the Mason. He's still in better shape than the Fletcher, though the Fletcher does have the stale loaf of bread to eat now. I think maybe she'll eat it. Since both players have 2 items, she's going to eat that. That'll restore her 2 hit points, so she's back up to 17. But we're going to stick with the Mason for exploration. He's leading the way. George the Mason. They're fighting these tough monsters, just ordinary folks. Okay. Oh, this does not look like a fight. What do you know? All right. In the sweltering chamber, a blacksmith is forging a sword. He is so absorbed in his craft that you spot an opportunity to steal from him. As a group, choose one option. Move on. It's not worth the risk. Turn the next chapter card. Steal. Nominate a player to try and roll a cunning in one attempt. Oh, man, we can do that. Okay, if we fail, though, you're caught red-handed and the blacksmith turns his hammer on you. Each player loses 2 hit points as you retreat. And then we move on. Well, I guess we can keep trying to steal from him. Anyway, we're going to give it a try. Because the Fletcher, she's pretty good. That's her main stat is cunning. So let's see what she gets. And she got it. Perfect. Okay. Success. You relieve the blacksmith of some of his wares before slipping away. Draw 2 item cards. Fantastic. And then we slip away. So that's going to go away. We're going to get the deck out. We're going to draw 2 cards. What do we get? We get an effervescent evasion. I like that, but not enough to get rid of what we have. And, ooh, what's this? This is a real item. The replication stone. It's a relic. When you roll a single, it counts as 2 singles of that trait. Oh my gosh, this is super powerful. So, obviously, I got to look up rules on relics. I don't think it matters, but we're going to give that relic to her, and then this is just going to go away, unfortunately. Nope, just a powerful item. So we're going to continue on and draw our next card. Look, we've already gone through a bunch of them. Let's see what happens next in our trek through the dungeon. Oh, yet another non-battle. Okay, let's look at this picture. A lot of people have said I've read, not a lot of people, actually most people say they like the artwork a lot, but some people have said they don't. I actually think it's cool. It reminds me of old, like 1980s RPG books and stuff. Okay, it says, a hooded man approaches. He looks cautiously over his shoulder, then whispers, asking if you wish to trade. Each player may choose one option. Trade, discard any item and draw 2 more. Negotiate, try and roll a double in one attempt. Success. Your silver tongue pays dividends, draw an item card, or failure, primitive appeal falls flat. Well, let's do this. I think we're going to trade, discard any item, and draw 2 more. So we're going to discard this Elixir of Insight from the Fletcher, and I'm going to leave that out because we still have the option of, we're going to draw 2 more that way. That'll work out. See if we get something better. We got a Liquid Luck. Oh, and the Golden Axe. Okay, it's a relic, weapon 2-handed. That means it... Okay, so here's a problem. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep this axe. Basically, the Liquid Luck says... In fact, I probably shouldn't have this in this game. It's from an expansion, but it says relic 2-handed weapon. In combat, roll the Golden Axe die. That's this die. Alongside your character die. If you roll an axe, remove any one chapter card. If you roll a skull... or any one chapter die. If you roll a skull, lose 1 hit point and discard the Golden Axe. I mean, that's a pretty powerful item, but I would have to get rid of the Rotten Shield because it's 2-handed. That means it's the only thing you can carry. And I don't know if that's good. The Rotten Shield reduces our damage a lot, and I definitely don't want to get rid of the Replication Stones, since whenever you roll a single, it counts as double. That's really powerful. So I think... Sadly, I think we're just going to take the Liquid Luck and pretend that this wasn't in here because it probably didn't belong with us in this basic game anyway. But this allows us to re-roll character die, applying only the second result. So okay, and that was that card. We have passed another trial in the Dark Castle. All right, let's continue on. We'll do one more, and then we'll call this an episode. Okay. We're about halfway through the deck, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Ooh, he doesn't look good. A jailer. The familiar stench of the jailer fills the air, and he suddenly appears. The man who gave cruelty new meaning. As a group, nominate 2 players, that's easy, to try and trap this giant of a man to hatch the plan. The nominated player must end up with the same trait on their character dice after a maximum of 3 rolls each, which can be taken in any order the players choose. Taking the keys, you lock him in. Okay, if we succeed, we take the keys and lock him in a cell. If we fail, we go to combat. Okay, so we're going to hatch a plan. Now, what this means we have to do, because we only have 2 players, so it's going to be the Mason and the Fletcher, is we have to have the same symbol. We have to match our symbols on the dice. So it has the same trait. Okay, so let's roll. Let's see what we get. And we did it in the first roll. Wow. Okay, we trapped him. Nicely done, Fletcher and Mason. They are getting out of this dungeon. Okay, so we don't have to go to combat with him. Success. Taking the keys, you lock him in one of his own cells. He is gone, and we have successfully trapped him with some cunning. We were cunning and got away from him. Okay, I think we'll continue with the Mason leading the charge. Yeah, we'll continue with the Mason, see what happens there. Okay, what do we get here? Oh, this doesn't look good. These clowns come in after we... They're looking for their buddy, the jailer. You turn a corner and step right into a path of 2 guards. Yeah, they were looking for the jailer. They exchange a puzzled look, then lunge to restrain you. As a group, choose one option. Flee, you force your way past them, but not before taking several glancing blows. Each player loses hit points. Or fight, begin combat. We're going to fight these guys. Heck no, we're not going to leave them alive. We're in good shape here. And we only have to roll 2 chapter dice, but they do 2 damage. Of course, I can't roll any fists, right? No, that would be out of the question. So, we're going to roll, I think each of them will attack. Here's the Mason's roll. Let's see. Oh, well, that's good. He did get it. And the Fletcher's roll. And look, we succeeded in killing them in the first attack. Boom! We got them both. They are down for the count. We're going really well here right now. I don't think it's going to last. Okay, let's draw another card out. We get to draw another item card, though we're probably not going to keep it unless it's really good. Let's see, a tattered knapsack, special item. Does not count towards your item limit. Oh, you may carry 2 additional items before each chapter. You must choose which items are in your hands. Okay, we're going to give this to the Mason since he's been leading the way. He's going to take the knapsack. That allows him to take 2 cards. He just has to nominate 2 cards to make sure that those are the ones that are in play. Man, I wish I'd gotten Golden Axe now, right? Oh well, it is what it is. Okay, let's continue on. We'll keep the Mason leading the charge. We're actually doing really well on health right now, until we run into something like this, right? Man, that guy looks pretty bad. With a piercing wail, a hideous creature emerges from the darkness ahead. It rolls at the sight of you. As a group, choose one option, then begin combat. Surround the beast and attack from all sides. It's much easier to kill or stay together and fight on the move. So much easier to kill does more damage. Harder to kill does less damage. I think we're going to take this first one, because these are 2 wisdom and I don't like that. So it might do more damage to us. We're going to have that, and then 2 chapter dice. We're going to roll 2 chapter dice to see. Oh look, we have to get doubles to kill that one. I think that's how that works. Let me look at the book and see. I believe that we have to get both those symbols to kill it, to take out the die, if I'm not mistaken. See, it doesn't show that on the other chapter dice. I think that's not a regular chapter die. It may not be. Yeah, I think this one is not a regular chapter die. This one is. Let's roll that. Okay, so it's going to be 1 of each. Got to put those ones aside. There's 2 of them. 3 of them I just noticed. Okay, 3 of those, 4 of those. They're not regular chapter dice. Okay, here's what we are up against. We are dealing with this beastie. It does a lot of damage. Okay, so let's roll for the Mason, see what he gets. Okay, the Mason took that out, but he is going to get hit back. And then the Fletcher took that out, but we're going to take 3 damage each. So here we go. Effervescent potion. The Mason is going to block all of that damage. He does not take the hit. And we get rid of this. The Fletcher. Well, I think we're just going to take it. We're going to have to. So she gets rid of that. She gets her die back, but she's going to take 1, 2, 3. She's down to 14. Ouch. Okay, let's go again. We're both going to keep on the attack, I think. It's better off that way. Okay, the Mason does not do anything, and the Fletcher Does not do anything, but she blocks the damage, so that's good. And this is not one damage, it's damage. You block the damage when you get a shield. I saw somebody say it's a doubles surrounded by a shield. This means that in addition to any hits a character has scored, they are also blocked. And it says page 9. Defend. If any chapter dice remain after each, we take a hit. But every character who did not block takes damage simultaneously, losing hit points. So she blocked, but the Mason did not. However, he still got his Rotten Shield. So he is going to take 2 points of damage. Okay, but we still did not defeat the thing. Alright, my friends, let's go again. Well, there we go. The Mason got him, and she didn't, but it doesn't matter because we killed him with the Mason. Good job, Mason. This guy is dead. We're going to draw 1 item card and see what we get. He can take a bunch of items right now, so we're in good shape there. Ooh, dented daggers. Once per round of combat, when you hit, you may attack the same enemy again. Oh, nice. We'll keep those. Scoosh. There we go. Mason is now armed with a rotten shield and dented daggers. Oh, it's two-handed. Well, they're both in our... We can keep them right now. We just got to determine which one we're going to use. So when we go into... It says... Before each chapter, you must choose which item. I think we're going to go in with the daggers for this turn. We'll put the shield in the backpack. So we'll put everything that's in the backpack below it, and the dented daggers are going up right now. Okay, and I think we'll let... well, they're both at the same health level, so we'll keep the Mason leading the charge here. Uh-oh, what is this? You stumble upon an enticing store of castle supplies. As you approach, the Pugilist begins to lower. You must act quickly. Nominate a single player to try and prevent it closing, and a cutting player to try and dash through to retrieve items. The player holding open the Pugilist must roll a might in 1 attempt now. Okay, Mason, roll a might. He does not. Okay. Okay, we did not succeed at that. So we failed at that point, and the Pugilist drops it. We both take a point of damage, and we gain nothing. So the Mason is now down to 13, as is the Fletcher. Yeah, it was too bad. We could have gotten some stuff, but we didn't. We failed and did not get past the Pugilist. Okay, one more. We'll go one more. Let me see. How many do we have? I want to see how many we have. 1, 2, 3. I think you're allowed to count. 4, 5, 6. Well, we've done the majority of them, so I think that's a good place to stop, actually. We're going to stop right there. Our adventures of George and Margaret trying to get out of the castle are almost complete. We're going to take one more episode of that because I don't know how big or nasty the boss fight's going to be. Then we'll talk about the game mechanics and how they work a little bit at the end. But in the meantime, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this little episode of Escape the Dark Castle, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.